Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Little follow up on the plane crash in Kazakhstan that was reported on Christmas Day. Again, earlier I did a video showing how the Jesuit fingerprints were all over this plane crash. And I thought I'd do a little more research on the airline itself. And it was established August 17th, 1992, and the founder and first president was Vajif Siddiqui. And as you can see, his name has a Gematria value of 201 and 150. And again, in light of those Jesuits, they are the 201 gang. And in the time of the Jesuit suppression, their order was preserved by Catherine the Great with 201 Jesuit priests. And here we are in the time of the first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. If you're new here, Gematria, the Kabbalistic practice of coding numbers into words. It's based on the alphabetic order forwards and backwards. And as you can see, the name Vajif Siddiqui, if I'm saying that correctly, equates to 201 and 150. And these are both very interesting numbers in light of the Jesuits, whose logo is the sun, in light of the history of the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt creating the Illuminati in the time of the Jesuit suppression, and in light of this happening on Christmas Day, the day that the Catholic Church originally used to celebrate the birth of the sun in the sky. So again, if you're new here, starting with the 201, the Jesuit order equates to 201. And we're going to again remind how this is perfectly synced with the Jesuit leader, the Superior General. But the Jesuit order equates to 201. The founder of the Jesuits, Ignatius of Loyola, equates to 201. The first Jesuit Pope, Pope Francis, whose birth name is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, equates to 201. Again, he's the first Jesuit Pope and the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican. And you can look up that fact. You'll see that he lives in an apartment known as the Domus Sanctae Martae, which also equates to 201. And you can also find out that it was previously named after Pope Leo, who died on the 201st day of the year, which is interesting because Catholic Pope also equates to 201. And the Jesuits serve the Pope. They are the military order of the Catholic Church. And here we're talking about apparently the military of Russia, again, where the Jesuit order was preserved in the time of their suppression. Again, the accusation is that Russia shot down this plane. Now, his name also equates to 150. Remember, the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt created the Illuminati. He named it Order of Illuminati. Order of Illuminati equates to 201. Illuminati alone equates to 150. And it's interesting because they say the sun is 150 million kilometers away on average. Again, the sun illuminates the world. Also, in the 16th century, the century the Jesuits were created, the heliocentric model was agreed to. The model that says the sun is the center of it all. And heliocentrism also equates to 201 and 150. Okay. As for this man, it's hard to find anything about him. The CIA has a little write-up on him. It's under their list of Soviet officials. Again, this airline was created after the Soviet Union broke up. It was traditionally a Russian airline or a Soviet airline, and it went from Aeroflot to becoming Azerbaijan Airlines. And I know I'm not quite saying that correctly, but our American tongues aren't cut out for all words. So all this 201 should remind you of how Biden and Putin met exactly 201 days into the first ever Jesuit Ignatian year on Pearl Harbor Day, where supposedly the conversation was to try and stop a war happening between Russia and Ukraine. And remember, that war ended up breaking out on the anniversary of the Jesuits implementing the Gregorian calendar, which is February 24th, and it broke out in the Donbass region, which equals 201. Now notice that from Putin's birthday to this flight crashing and reportedly being shot down by Russia was 79 days after Putin's birthday. As you can see, Society of Jesus equates to 79 and 56. And as we'll get to, the first ever airline or plane that crashed for this airline was Flight 56. That was back in December of 95. Funny enough, this airline's lost 3 flights in history, and they all crashed in December. The Jesus month. Again, the Society of Jesus is the Jesuit order. But 79 days after Putin's birthday, keep in mind the word murder equals 79. Ukraine also equals 79. The war with Russia in Ukraine, a lot of 79 rituals in that time, including at the beginning of the war, them saying that the war in Ukraine has increased inflation by 7.9%. You can go back to when the war began at the start of 2022. We covered those headlines back then. Also, Jesuit order equates to 72 the small way. Again, if you're new here, 4 base ciphers of the English language: alphabetic order with numerology, reverse alphabetic order with numerology. Jesuit order equates to 72. Putin's 72 years old. Mangistau region, where this plane crashed, 72. And don't forget, we got the first Jesuit Pope, the first ever to live in Suite 201 on the 72nd day of the year, back on March 13th, 2013. For the record, the name of this airline literally equals the Jesuit order in Gematria. The name of the airline literally equals Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Gematria. All interesting things to think about. And from the leader of the Jesuits' birthday, November 12th, to this crash was 43 days later. Again, plane crash equates to 43. Just last week, I was talking about the plane crash in Buffalo, which was the worst since the plane crash on the 43rd day of the year on the 43rd parallel in Buffalo, which was also on a date with 43 numerology. And that was February 12th, 2009. But not only that, this crash was also on the 43rd parallel. The plane crashed while approaching Aktau Airport. 43rd parallel. Just perfect ritualism. And for years, if you're new here, for years, it's not like I just mentioned this for the first time last week, days before this happened. For years, I've been talking about plane crashes in 43. I wish I could go back and find it, but there was a day where Jeranism challenged me on plane crashes in 43. He said this was an absurd theory. And it was weird because the day he challenged me was a date with 43 numerology, and then there ended up being another big plane crash story in the headlines later that day. And I thought, God, I hope he learned his lesson today. On the day that he makes fun of it, another plane crash 43 ritual happens, and there's probably been at least 50 more since then, because that was probably back in 2016 that I'm talking about. Again, the original airline that Azerbaijan Airlines formed out of, Aeroflot, also has the 43 in its name. And again, they reported that 38 died on Christmas. Again, we see this pattern with Christmas every year in 38. Christmas equals 38. Aeroflot the other way is 38. Again, death, murder, killing, RIP, they all equal 38. The movie poster, Murder by Numbers, the E's changed to the 3, the B's to the 8. The film came out 38 weeks after Sandra Bullock's birthday. Again, the song Murder by Numbers came out in 83. I need to go. I caught something in my research. It might be Aeroflot. Aeroflot might have been founded in 83 before it became Azerbaijan Airlines in 92. I got to go back and double check that. There was something about 83 with this airline. Again, the film Murder by Numbers came out on Ignatius of Loyola Day. It's the day in history he became the Superior General of the Jesuits, April 19th. It's the day the Revolutionary War began. Of course, it's Waco, Oklahoma City. The other year it was the guy dressed up as a Mountie shooting up people all over Canada, which got Canadian gun rights taken away. But again, killing, death, RIP, they're all 38. Gematria is 38, like English, like Kabbalah, like energy. Look up the song Gematria, the killing name. Gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words, which comes from Kabbalah. Again, murder by numbers. The lyrics are killing's the sport of the elected. It's as simple as A, B, C is 1, 2, 3. Redundantly, the same repetitive patterns. Again, them telling you that it was an Embraer 190 passenger jet. 190 is the 19th triangular number. Oftentimes we see things happen in 19-year cycles. The last time this airline lost a plane was 19 years ago. It was also a flight that left Baku. And it crashed 2 days before Christmas. And notice it crashed at 2240. If you write out the Society of Jesus, it equals 224. And then the other airline that they lost was 3 years after the airline was established. If you spell out 3 as a word, it equals 56, like Abrahamic. There's 3 Abrahamic religions. Plane crash, also 56, like Society of Jesus, going with the Catholic Church and the Trinity. But they lost flight A56 3 years after being established in 95. Remember, the Jesuits' original mission was to counter the 95 Theses, and they were recognized by the Roman Catholic Church on September 27th, the day leaving 95 days left in the year. Again, the Jesuits' original establishment date in Paris, France, 6 years before they got recognized by the Roman Catholic Church, was August 15th, 1534. So this airline was created on the 3rd day of the Jesuit order's age, or 2 days after their anniversary of establishment. And from that anniversary to this year's crash, 130 days later, they reported 38 dead, 67 passengers. Notice, human sacrifice is 130. If you apply numerology, it's 67. And then again, the founder and first president with the Illuminati connections in his name. Again, he's in the CIA directory. Makes you wonder if it's a CIA airline. You just had Mossad on 60 Minutes gloating about how many shell companies they have in the world. If you missed the Mossad interview on 60 Minutes from this last weekend, you should look that up. They said that the world is theirs and it's their theater. They said, you have no idea how many shell companies we own and how many rituals we perform with all these shell companies. Remember, you guys, Mossad and that whole country is pretty much funded by the U.S. And let's not forget that State of Israel equals 201, or that David Ben-Gurion died 201 days after the anniversary of its establishment, just like Adam Weishaupt died 201 days after the after the anniversary of the Illuminati's establishment. And let's not forget that the CIA, known as the Catholics in Action, was established on the 201st day of the Pope's age, September 18th, 1947, or that Howard Hunt said the greatest intelligence agency in the world is the Jesuits. But again, the CIA, the words in their logo, Central Intelligence Agency, United States of America, is 201, just like their motto, the work of a nation, the center of intelligence, is 201. And again, that September 18th, 47 establishment date was on the 201st day of Pope Pius XII's age. National intelligence is 201. Look at the ritual they just did with Tulsi Gabbard in 201 as she gets directed to a pointer of national intelligence. A new branch related to the CIA that came out after 9/11 when the Twin Towers, 2, became 0 before they eventually were erected as 1 World Trade Center. But again, you look into the KGB's origins, it's very Jesuit, which would only make sense to where their order was preserved. Just like the CIA, all these intelligence networks essentially being Jesuit at the end of the day. Seems pretty self-explanatory to me. Again, Catholic Church gave us the world as we know it, the language, the calendar, and seemingly playing the world for fools. They've indoctrinated people to just trust authorities blindly, and so many people do. And these same people that are under this mind control of, whatever's on the TV's reality, they're the same ones that get all angry when you show them things like this. And they think they're holier than thou, and they think you're crazy, even though you're the one with all the facts. And they're the ones with nothing but beliefs and opinions. Beliefs, opinions, and ignorance. It's that 1984 thing. Ignorance is strength. You see that in the populace. That CT channel, for example, this panel of people that have no knowledge of really anything, nothing but ignorant opinions, and again, they think they're righteous in their ignorance. So, and then the other thing that CT panel represents is just the other day I was on their show and I told them about how 38 and death and Christmas happens annually. They witness this happen and they think it's just a coincidence. That's what I mean when you say you can't fix stupid. So, if you're not stupid though, this should resonate with you. Pay attention. This is what's going on in cycles, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And yeah, if people really were killed, and this isn't just more staged media to say, "Ooh, look how bad Russia is. Let's send more billions to the opposition." Let's send even more money to NATO. Again, if that's not all this is right here, and really regardless of what happened, if they really killed people or not, or just staged media, ultimately that is a big part of it. Keeping people in fear, more money towards the military industrial complex, more big boogeymen in the world to fight off, when at the end of the day, you got these red, white, and blue flag nations from Russia to the US to a million others. And it's the Jesuit cabal running them all. Again, look up the Jesuits. They operate in 112 countries and claim to have influence with 112 militaries across the nation. And Russia's obviously one of them. It's where they were preserved. The United States is obviously one of them. The Jesuits set up camp in D.C. and then eventually moved the capital there, and then eventually moved Inauguration Day to the 201st day of the nation's age. And now you get to witness things like Joe Biden sacrificed his wife, daughter, and son in 201 rituals, and now Trump does the same thing to his ex-wife and then buries her on the 201st day of the year. These Jesuit-educated men, Trump and Biden and so many others. But yeah, that's the update, Truth Seeker. Before we sign off, make sure nothing else is buzzing right now. It's still the top news. Russian system may have downed Azerbaijani jet, U.S. official says. Oh, okay. You're okay, sweetie pie. You're okay, sweetie pie. It's time to wrap this video up. You're okay, sweetie pie. You're okay, my love. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. I might need to wrap it up here, Truth Seeker. I want to buzz some more headlines, but I think Sweet Girl's telling me it's... Oh, she's sucking on the figures. That means she's getting hungry. Let's not forget the rituals they did with Diddy and Jay-Z in 201. Diddy goes down 201 days from Clive Davis's birthday, and then Jay-Z goes down in the 201st month since Rock Nation was created. Again, these Jesuits running more than you know. All right, sweet girl. All right, we'll leave it there for now, Truth Seeker. Till next time.